Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's Doctor Who review is none other than Frontius. So, what is Frontius about? Well, the Doctor, Tegan and Turlough land on a planet which seems to be getting ravaged by these creatures that look like giant slugs. These creatures have drawn in many ships across the cosmos and have started brainwashing members of their party to basically subjugate and control them. The Doctor finds his Tardis landing on this rock, and as soon as they begin to interact with the crew, after a bunch of the crew's members going missing, they soon discover the giant slugs, and the giant slugs decide they want to break into the Tardis. However, the Doctor, being the inquisitive mind that he is, he manages to overthrow them and find a way of defeating them. But not without great struggle. These slug-like creatures with telepathic minds make it a big struggle for the Doctor. The Doctor, being a telepath himself, finds it a struggle to fight back against their oppression. However, what makes it even worse is when the TARDIS begins to keep malfunctioning and parts of it begin to rip apart. The Doctor watches his precious ship turn into nothing more than scrap metal and bits of round pieces on this desolate world. Turlough manages to come up with a way of getting around the bugs, but to do it, he must free their prisoners. The bugs prefer to stay down in the darkness away from a lot of the crew members, draining their power. However, they soon find themselves quivering when they realise that the Doctor is a Time Lord. The Doctor warns them that if they don't stop, he will stop them. So, Frontius, what did I think of this story? I wouldn't say it's as good as The Awakening. I wouldn't say it's as bad as Time Flight. But I would say that it definitely has a very interesting dynamic. It's one of those whimsical, far-off Doctor Who stories that you really just come to love. I mean, for starters, I've got to say, I love the grotesqueness of these giant slugs. They kind of look like, and not trying to be rude here, but they look like a cross between a slug and the BFG. I also love the way they glide around and have the power of telepathy, and the way that they can draw people in and really start to grind at people's gears. The Fifth Doctor wearing those specs in this story, I've got to say, personally to me, I think was a win. I just think it's nice to see him carrying on a lot of what his predecessors do, and one thing that goes on to happen with the 10th Doctor. Peter Davison and his cast and crew absolutely sell this episode to you. However, I do feel like most of its weak points are just some bits with the bugs. I feel like we get too distracted by the fact that they're so grotesque and stuff that we sometimes start to forget about the actual main problem in this story. And sadly, for that reason, I have to mark this down to about a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching, though. We'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, and have an incredible night, you beautiful people.